Hello, everyone, and a very good afternoon to you all, and a warm welcome as well. Thank you for joining us for another webinar, which is hosted by Cooperation Africa. Um, it is indeed great to have you with us. Please note that this session is being recorded. And as some of you may already know, Cooperation Africa is dedicated to promoting and supporting the cooperative movement, specifically cooperative development across the continent. This webinar is part of our knowledge sharing program, and it is an ongoing effort to raise awareness, share experiences, and strengthen the cooperative movement here in Africa. My name is Ebenezer, and I will be your moderator for today's session. Please take a moment to introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us your name, the organization you represent, and where you're joining us from. Throughout the session, feel free to drop your questions or comments in the chat or in the Q&A section. Today's session will run for about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes at most. Our speaker will speak for around 35 minutes, and then we'll move into questions and answers for about 15 minutes. We also have interpretation into French, so please use the interpretation link, the globe icon, to access the language of your choice. Before we hear our speaker for today, for the benefit of those who joined us for the first time and do not know much about Cooperation Africa, let me say a few words. Cooperation Africa is a membership organization that is registered in and operating out of Ghana, and with members from across Africa and beyond. We support cooperatives because as businesses owned and democratically managed by their members, cooperatives help those members achieve higher and more secure standards of living. We support cooperatives because we believe that when cooperatives are more dominant on the continent, we'll be able to see a lot more economic development. Cooperatives may be categorized into three broad groups: producer cooperatives, consumer cooperatives, and multi-stakeholder cooperatives. As an organization, we're of the view that African countries would have more stronger cooperatives and would be able to provide more secure employment and better standards of living to their members. We strive to promote cooperatives, firstly through country research into cooperatives, and this is followed by advocacy, and secondly, through knowledge sharing events for those wishing to set up or grow their own cooperatives. And finally, we promote cooperatives by providing finance to support these cooperatives. As part of our current activities, in addition to the webinars, we also publish a monthly digest of news about cooperatives in Africa called Mapigo. And so hopefully after we finish this webinar, we would have this entire webinar session also as an article in our news bulletin. So please go onto our website, www.cooperationafrica.org, and subscribe to our news bulletin on the website. Currently, we've also commissioned 4 research reports into the enabling and inhibiting factors that affect cooperative formation and development in Zambia. The factors include awareness about cooperatives, the political and legal landscape, and a range of socio-economic factors, and finally, financial and technical support. We plan to launch the findings of this research in August this year during the Cooperation Africa's International Hybrid Conference, which is taking place in Lusaka, Zambia, from the 24th to the 26th of August this year. And so during the conference, we will launch the findings of this research there. And we will use the results from the research to guide our advocacy efforts in support of cooperatives in Zambia. We welcome as members all those, whether individuals or organizations, who are willing to actively help to bring about a more cooperative and self-reliant Africa. Please see the membership section on our website and join us in building the kind of Africa you want. And so now to introduce the speaker for today's webinar, our speaker for today is Mr. Yarkpazuo Mulbah Gbusiwoi. I hope I got the pronunciation correct. And he's a cooperative finance expert, a public administrator, and an agriculturalist with over 20 years of experience. He's the Chief Executive Officer of the Liberia Credit Union National Association, which is the apex body of the financial cooperative movement in Liberia. He has also served on the board of the Cooperative Development Agency and brings experience from both public sector and international development, including work in Sierra Leone with Cause Canada. Our speaker is deeply committed to supporting vulnerable and hard-to-reach communities, helping them improve their livelihoods and actively contributing to national development. We are pleased to have him with us today. So Mr. Yarkpazuo, if you can unmute and share your screen and also begin your presentation for today. Can you hear me?
Yes, Beneza, I can get you.
So we are.
Thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate. Are you getting me? Hello?
Good afternoon, all. I can see my friend, Buzwe.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Buso. Thank you, sir. So,
Yes, I'm just joining.
Hello. Please, you can begin. I don't know if you can hear me.
yes, I'm getting you. Are you also getting me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. So you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, again, I'm happy to be on this platform. It's a great opportunity to share my own experience with the platform care and all of the audience. And of course, I have already been introduced. My name is Yarkpazuo Mulbah Gbusiwoi. I am the CEO of Liberia. And again, once more, I say thank you, Cooperation Africa, for the invite. We have basic information to share. Let me just give you that. The World Bank Group once said inclusive finance drives growth and resilience. Yet 1.4 billion adults are still unbanked. More than 1 billion people around the world remain financially excluded. As of early 2020, there were over 850 million registered mobile money across the 90 countries. Total countries of the world, of course, is 198 with 1.3 billion transactions daily. So this brings to mind that we have a lot to do as cooperative in order to include our people that are unbanked, unreached, and are in a impoverished status. I think we as cooperative leaders must take this time now to push forward our basic our agenda to improve financial services in Africa. Of course, the purpose of the webinar is to provide share knowledge, my expert opinion on Korean's operation in my home country, Liberia. It is, of course, a view that the audience will understand and gain from the shared information. Of course, during this presentation, we have key points that we're going to be looking at: the history of LCUNA, Liberia, the Liberia Korean National Association, the governance system, challenges, success of LCUNA, and of course, some critical issues will also be discussed. So when you ask someone about the establishment and the historical context of LCUNA, of course, LCUNA started far back in 1966. And formally, it was established in 1973. Formally established, it was the time it was formally accredited by the government of Liberia to the Ministry of Agriculture, especially the marketing department. And the Korean movement was actually supported by Father Ted Heading. He was an American clergyman, and also he was also supported by a Liberian clergyman, Bishop Boniface Storia. At that time, they were in Maryland County. Maryland County is part of the region in Liberia where one of the strong president of Liberia, ex-president William V. S. Tubman, came from, and that most of the activities focused on so LCUNA came as a result of isolated informal savings, hard to reach due to tough road conditions, and also has some issues with integrated national financial cooperative network. Of course, LCUNA came on a serious law, the Liberian law, that was somehow contested by other parties. The president of Liberia at the time, William R. Tubman, he was much more interested in cooperative activities, and he was more involved into credit union activities, more involved into farmer activities, and he was able to give a leverage, tax-free opportunities to the Liberia credit movement and cooperative activities in Liberia. And that brought in huge growth as of 1973 to the war. Of course, the credit movement of Liberia has strong and financial liquidity at the point in time, with strong membership. Though it has 64 credit unions with 22,000 members, but the liquidity and financial institution of the credit unions was very strong, and we are most likely one of the best movements in Africa at that time. So what was the purpose for which LCUNA was established? Of course, we have representation and advocacy, which is one of our key goals in Liberia. We represent the credit unions in Liberia to government and other institutions, even across the country, so that our credit unions have policies, which in fact, by the virtue of that, we are working on the credit union. We are trying to revisit the credit union policy, the credit union act in Liberia, which central bank is highly supporting. Of course, we have worked with the various regulators in terms of, we have two regulators, we have the central bank and the cooperative development agents. These two institutions are working strongly to support the credit union movement of Liberia in terms of policy development, in terms of governance, and in terms of networking. They are doing very well. We have a very cordial and mutual relationship with our regulators. The next area that we have is supervision and guidance. Of course, LCUNA assists member credit unions to operate soundly, safely, and have an intention to help their members. So we do everything in providing supervision guidance. We go, our field officers move into the various credit unions, ensuring that their record systems are set up, ensuring that our technical assistance are provided, like we have the IT section, the moving to support the credit unions. We also deal with governance. We make sure that the board of directors, the governance system of the various credit unions are up to tax and up to the policy level. That is, board of directors should be able to hold meetings for 4 times a year, and there should be election every 3 years. And we ensure that if you have served 2 times in governance as well on the board of directors, you have to come down or relinquish your position at the General Assembly, and new leadership will be put into place. So we also have training and capacity building. Of course, this is one of our key roles. We provide training with support of our Coast Guard and regional credit union, with support of the Central Bank and the Cooperative Development Agency. We work together, networking, in order to provide good programs, training programs for our credit unions and our credit union leaders in Liberia. We also help credit unions improve their skills in the areas of accounting and also having strong administrative structure. Fourthly, we have promote savings. We help in the area of promoting savings and credit culture. LCUNA encourages savings among Liberians, help to create awareness on savings at various credit unions. We join hands with the credit union leadership to hold twice a year credit union awareness days at various credit union sites or environment in order to support them create saving and improve saving culture at their various credit unions. We also have to create better conditions to access to finance. That, for instance, whenever they are in need of fund, there's a low down on cash, we are contacted to see how best we can intervene into the process. And our interventions have been strongly admired by our credit unions leaders, and that's one area that they have a high degree of respect for the credit for LCUNA. We strengthen the credit union movement. That is one of course, we have to strengthen how we support expansion and unification of credit unions, merging of some of our smaller credit unions to form bigger credit unions, and also we have to make the system more stable and effective by looking at potential standards, by making sure that in terms of LCUNA can be a strong institution. We make sure that we have contacts with international partners that are Coast Guard to provide more exposure for our board directors, provide more exposure for the credit unions in Liberia, the credit leaders in Liberia. And we also work strongly to improve the governance system at LCUNA. We have, of course, we provide shared service. On this area, we try to work with 2 major credit unions in Liberia, the Teachers Credit Union and one of our local credit unions, in order for them to be able to work together to make sure that there is a mutual understanding, giving strong service support to each other to move forward. And that can improve confidence and trust in their operations. Financial education, centralized services to credit unions have actually been done over the time. So collective organization, of course, we are talking about people that work together to achieve common goal and in order to meet that, to work in solving some of the challenges, and also ensuring that they have collective accomplishment, collective benefits. They have collective understanding as to how they can work together as a family. So yes, LCUNA, the Liberia movement, is strong in this direction, we are working with rural credit unions. We work with international bodies to see how best the common bond of these credit unions are highly respected, and members are respected, and members are focused in terms of providing better products and services to the members. So in this collective organization, members pool resources, as you may know, in a cooperative context, such as ideas and even other resources that can benefit them all. Collective organization will come with shared purpose. Yes, how the common bond are being discussed and satisfied among them, and will come with cooperation where all of them will work together, jointly moving and working, ensuring that they have better benefits, mutual benefits for one another. We also have the mutual benefit, which is improved livelihood, and this is one of the areas that we actually work on. So,
Mais c'est en anglais là. Moi, je vais te laisser chiffre après. Tu vas me faire le tout.
Hello, am I on? Hello?
Hello, yes, you are on.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Please, you are on. I think somebody's mic was on. Kindly mute your mic when you join. Please kindly mute your mic when you join.
D'accord.
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Ils n'ont pas dit qu'ils vont mettre ça en français.
Yes.
Hein?
Okay, please kindly use the interpretation link to access French language. So kindly use the interpretation, the globe icon, to access the French interpretation. Please, you can go ahead. You can continue. Kindly speak up for us. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Let's do this. Let's see. Okay. So the last stage on this collective organization, we actually look at the democratic control process. And here is very important and key. We want people to be able to follow, to respect the democratic control process of the credit union movement. It is a society where members will have to make decisions, where members will have to participate in the decision process, decisions that will improve credit unions, decisions that will make the credit unions to be viable, that will create better services and products, decisions that will elect leaders that will serve the members. So membership development. LCUNA as a national apex, membership development in credit union goes through a series of stages. Initial awareness to long-term engagement with potential members and Awareness phase, we start with the awareness phase first. When we start membership development, normally in Liberia, there's a great challenge for us for membership in terms of moving into the rural communities. And we will understand that when we go further into the statistical process. For during the credit union movement engagement, initially like in the 80s and in the 70s, of course, there were people that were concerned, government officials involved into the process, the president was involved. So awareness was one of any key problems. So during this phase, potential members are informed by the philosophy of the credit union system. This engagement is held in community outreach, workplace activities, and marketing exercises in communities. Of course, the purpose of this is to make people know about the credit union assistance and the benefits that credit union has, the products that we have, the benefits that members are going to receive at the end of the year. We're going to have such benefits such as low income, opportunity to save, opportunity to withdraw savings, opportunity to prepare yourself for retirement ages, and of course, making sure that making it to understand that they are joining the credit union key and
Hello.
key.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, we are struggling to hear you.
Yeah.
If you can, yeah, I think the network is not very stable. So if you can kindly take off your camera so that it reduces the load on your network so that we can get very clean audio.
Okay.
Okay. You can go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So we were told by the awareness phase of the membership development in Liberia, and we have instance that we gave the credit unions in Liberia initiated membership drive, especially through a progressive awareness among saving costs and village saving. But I can tell you that for after the war, the government of Liberia through the central bank was very strong and key in the membership drive. If we check our data, the central bank used funds to be funded LCUNA to be able to drive to carry a membership drive around the country. At that time, we were able to have impressive number of credit unions, although there were not strong credit unions, were like saving clubs, some of them. But the idea was that we were able to attract them by providing some financial incentives with the help of the central bank. So interest stage at this point in time, we encourage members to understand that there are better services that credit union can provide than any other financial institution, financial service institution, because we are unique in our own services. We work along with members. We made them to be family, not only members, not only clients, not only customers, but we made them to be family. We know them by their names and we know them by their locations. So this matter. So we normally, in the interest area, we try to understand that let's join together and do something. Of course, application at this phase, potential members tend to align themselves with their type of credit unions. So in Liberia, of course, we have three types of credit unions. We have the employee-based credit union, we have the community-based credit union, and we have the agricultural credit unions that we work along with them. And if we go down, I will explain further to that. But like in the from 2012 to 2015, 16, before the Ebola came, we were strong. We have more than 36 agricultural credit unions, and we have 91 community-based credit unions, and we have 7 employee-based credit unions that we're all working with them. But the Ebola at that point in time, of course, had greater impact on us and on LCUNA as well. So in the membership development, of course, we create awareness, we encourage and also show sign of interest, show sign of interest. We make to understand that they have to be encouraged to join the credit union. And when they join, we also use the credit union products and they maintain leadership within the credit union. They benefit from the credit union, and we fight very hard to retain them and also promote other services and products that will create better livelihood for them. So membership development, 2017, from 2012 to 2017, of course, we had 255 credit unions. But guess what happened? At that time, the central bank was involved. At that time, these credit unions were not strong credit unions. What the opportunity was that we could use these credit unions to create a better credit movement in Liberia. which we started doing. World Council came in to help from 2012 to 2014 when they left. 2016, I think they came 2013 and they left 2016. And at that time, of course, many people were attracted to the credit union. Of course, Ebola came, most of the small credit unions did not survive. So we came down the drain until most of the community-based credit unions ceased assistance, and we had to turn the wheel around to ensure that we work with various community-based credit unions to merge some of them and move forward. So for the statistics, we had 39,935, which constituted 58.3% of male. Female, 28,366 constituted for 1.3% of female in membership. So the total membership at that point in time, we had 68,515 members in the Republic of Liberia. But guess what happened? From 2016, 2017 to 2019, of course, the coronavirus came in. That was the worst disaster that LCUNA ever had at that point in time. And moreover, after the coronavirus, government went on air and said that all loans that are being offered by microfinance institutions are going to be paid by the Central Bank of Liberia. That was not done. So that time, of course, at this time, we have 61 credit unions. And we are fighting very hard on, of course, the new leadership to see how best we can grow credit union from where we started from 2019 so that we can have perfect control, not perfect control, but supervision over in terms of data collections, in terms of reporting, in terms of audit and governance best practices. So that's how we decided not to take all the credit unions, but to focus on one region for the point in time. So we concentrated on the urban area. And the urban area, we have presently 61 credit unions with 13,383 members. And we have male 8,263, constituting 62%, female 5,102 members, which constitutes 48%. The question is, why is it that in 2017, you had 250 credit unions, and now you only have 61 with a low membership? Yes, at that point in time in 2017, we had issues of credibility because most of the credit unions was put in money, and credit unions did not do well to offer back their loan or their service savings to them, decided to decline and die natural death. So what we did in order to build confidence, we decided as leader of the credit movement, look, we need to develop a new page, start with new credit unions, start with those strong old credit unions and try to build them up. And with the help of the DSIK, the German company, with the help of Acosta, we are driving the best way forward. And we think that this process is the best way that we can grow the credit movement of Liberia. Someone will ask, what is the vision and mission of LCUNA, Liberia Credit National Association? Of course, the vision of LCUNA is to be the leading advocate for credit unions in Liberia. And now the credit unions, we're talking about the membership. We are talking about the leadership. We are talking about representing credit unions out there and driving sustainable growth and development in Liberia. That is what we stand for. We want to be a leading advocate. We are doing LCUNA is in that wheelchair doing that. We working along with government, the central bank, working along with the judiciary and other institutions, ensuring that we lead credit unions in the best way possible, and that credit unions will even have better policies in Liberia. So the mission is to empower credit unions to deliver inclusive, resilient financial services that positively transform Liberian communities. So at this time, we have the CFF. At this time, we have all of our services that provide funding. We have cooperation between cooperatives. I mean, the creditors can give out money to their friend credit union and they grow. So that kind of relationship has been built through this type of mission that we have. This organic grant of the credit union, organic structure of the credit union, of course, we have the General Assembly. This is or like any other movement in the world. We have the board of directors and we have the supervisory committee and we have the management team. So if we talk about reporting process, it's the same pattern that other credit union movement in Liberia, the world has. Of course, members are set at the General Assembly. They make decisions, and by electing board of directors, they make decisions by electing supervisory committee. They make decisions by giving instructions to these bodies to be able to mend the credit unions while they are stay out there until they return to General Assembly. Now, the board of directors appoints the management team, the managing director or the CEO, and of course the CEO, and in consultation with the board, will then appoint the secretariat to help move the institution forward. So if we talk about the relationship between the board of directors and the supervisory committee, and I think in Liberia there have been excellent mutual collaboration between the supervisory committee and that of the board of directors. And bringing the management team, most time consultations are done with the supervisory committee. If there are errors, if there are things that we need to correct, of course, the supervisory committee can come in upon their observation, maybe through grapevine or other activities. But indeed, this is how our movement is structured, and this is how we report. Of course, the board directors, the management team reports to the board directors. And the board of directors reports directly to the General Assembly. And the supervisory committee also reports to the General Assembly. So this is what the structure is like in the credit movement in Liberia. We'll come into future goal. Of course, we will be the leading advocate for credit unions, driving sustainable growth and development in Liberia. One, there are digital transformation that we are gearing to. And this of course, with a digital transformation, there will be accurate data, timely reports, and all of informed information that can come out to help the board of directors make decisions. So we are currently working on the digital transformation process. We are working along with the NACO, that is the Gambia Credit Union, to help. They are bringing their software. At the same time, we are trying to engage. The board of directors has already given permission that we hire the services of private entity that will be able to create LCUNA soft that will be owned by LCUNA, not only creating it, but let it be owned by LCUNA. So we are working on that, and we already have some data, and we're going to be looking at it. Of course, if a credit union should be credible, should have better services. One, there should be innovative products and services. Products that will help the movement to go forward. Services that will attract more members to come in. Products that will attract other people to join the credit unions. I think this is what we need in Liberia. We need to be very innovative, and not only innovative, but we need to move forward to be able to provide better services for our credit unions. Lastly, we have something called sustainability. We're working towards sustainability. So this discussion is all about making credit unions to be liquid and to have resilient financial services to members, and also not only that, but best governance practices will better work for us under the sustainability canopy. If we want our credit unions to be sustainable, we have to understand that the credit unions will have to be respected. We have to build that confidence and trust between the credit unions and the members. So you cannot be sustainable if you have no trust and confidence. You cannot be sustainable if you do not have sound good products and sound services. You cannot be respectable if you are not able to provide accurate data and timely reports. So these three can't work together, and I think we, LCUNA, is able to drive achieve these three areas of importance in terms of credit operation in Liberia, LCUNA will move forward. So, this is why, in fact, we decided to build something what we call a 5-year strategic plan through the help of our postcard. And that's why on this strategic plan, we have 5 pillars. Of course, the first pillar goes with advocacy and governance. The second pillar goes with strategic partnership. The third pillar goes with financial resilience and growth. Fourth one goes with technology and member services. We also have inclusive and member services. So a membership growth. So this is what we have. So we believe that this will give us the opportunity to grow better than where we are. Lesson learned. We'll talk about good governance. Good governance has been something that we've been having serious problem with. But with the involvement of ACOSTA, with the involvement of DSIK, we realize that any movement, credit union movement in the world, especially the apex, if you have good governance into place, surely you're going to have the best credit union governance in that country. So we have to allow our members to be participatory in terms of governance and decision making as well. Adaptability and innovation. The movement from past time, you have to adapt to situations that will come. For instance, when we had a Ebola situation, we had to come down and move forward. We adopted that system. When we came to coronavirus, which is very tense in Liberia and around the world, we also had to adapt to that situation. When we were relying on partners after their departure, we had to adapt quickly to our self-reliant process. That's where sustainability in Liberia came about. So every movement, leadership of the movement, you have to have a strategy to be adaptable, to be innovative, and this can help the movement to move forward. 3, we have sound and timely communication. This is very unique for any institution as well as for our structure, the movement in Liberia. We have good communication with institutions, and we feel that we learn from this a lot. Initially, we have problem with communication with the credit unions. We have problem with communication with our regulators. At the time, the two regulators were not working together with LCUNA. One was the central bank wanted to control entirely LCUNA. While CDA said no, the cooperatives, LCUNA is cooperative, and we have to work together. So there was no good communication between the regulators, and there was no good communication between LCUNA and the regulators. But at the end, we learned that we have to come together, to work together, to communicate well, and let things work, and create a better communication network. So that helped us a lot to be where we are and to be where we are planning to go. Financial discipline is critical. We have had this issue in Liberia in terms of some of the credit unions. Of course, the leaders will go and embezzle funds. We have stopped that by education, by having training on good governance, by ensuring that there's no one person going to make decision. We will learn that if we are to work together and be financially disciplined, our institutions will be liquid. We have to have best good governance practices. So 5, we have member focus. Of course, every credit union in Liberia, every cooperative in Africa, in the world, will have to be member focused. And we feel that our credit unions have to be member focused. They have to move towards members. They have to move towards making their members to build that confidence. The credit union will have to build confidence between they and their members. That is very important key. Challenges. The first challenge we can see over the years have been lack of digital system. And yes, we have few credit unions. Of course, all of the System 1 credit unions that I connected to software. They provided their personal software, and but we want to have a collective software that will be owned by LCUNA, that will reduce costs It should not be a burden on the credit unions, but let's see how best we can work together to improve credit union by having unique financial information, timely reporting, and providing accurate data to our external partners and even ourselves. So we also have what we call poor visibility. This is one of the challenges that we have. The road have been a challenge, and the cost of going up in the rural country is very expensive. LCUNA cannot afford. But we have strategized on the 5 pillars, on the new strategic plan, that to go out, and the board directors have vowed that we have to go out to be able to reunite ourselves with our credit unions in the rural countries. They are calling this yesterday morning. One of them called me that they will need us to go to see how they can provide training. But again, it's a difficult task, or we are working on that. So under the visibility area, of course, 255 credit unions, as I said, we have 36 agricultural credit unions. We have 7 employees credit unions, and of course, we have 212 community-based credit unions. I can tell you that the structures are available. All we need to do to be visible, bring them on board, provide training, and it can move forward. That can build up the credit union system. So we have limited publicity. Of course, we have not been on radio for some time. So what we did was, on the strategic plan, we decided to create a public awareness program, bringing stakeholders, government officials, community leaders on board so that we can work together. And this plan is ongoing. We're going to have a lot of radio talk shows. We're going to have jingles and many other things that are going to come to play on the limited publicity. Weak reporting, of course, is connected to digital transformation. We have to even do financial report is manual, very difficult, and to have data very difficult. But as I said, we are only using just Excel platform to be able to accounting platform to do our financial reports, and of course, was to be able to come up with reports, narrative reports. So we need to build the system up. Dependence syndrome, this we have, I think, challenged ourselves on this, and with LCUNA depending so much on external support. Since 2023, we have gone off with that, and we are working towards being self-reliant and move forward. Yes, we are open to partners to come, but again, that shouldn't be the stalemate for us to just look at to depend on partners to say with partner we cannot grow. We have to stop that. So we are trying to, we've been doing it, but we have to stop it. So for 2023, from 2023 to now, we have planned to work on ourselves to be independent. Of course, institutions cannot be fully independent, but at least we can do something that will move us forward. Of course, we have successes, yes. Creation of good policies, of course, we are working with government. Among ourselves, we have some policies that we created that are helping us to move forward, to manage the limited credit unions that we have. And we have strong management discipline in the rural credit unions that, of course, we have taken a lot of disciplinary actions with the help of the central bank and the cooperative development agency, the regulators. Of course, building members and public confidence has been one of our key points. With the credit unions that we have built a lot of confidence and trust at the community level, at the public level, the government and the public level. We are making sure that we come together for us to move forward. Of course, adoption of program for sustainability. We have a lot of good programs that we're going to adopt. We're going to create now. We're going to work on other products for credit unions. Because if the credit unions are strong and sustainable, LCUNA will be strong and sustainable as well. What have been the impacts of our activities over the years? Good leadership will improve members' trust. Yes, the trust and confidence is overwhelming for us as credit union movement in Liberia. Increased membership education has been one of the areas we have focused since 2023. Of course, the German DSIK was able to help us to create a lot of educational programs, to create a lot of books that help us, manuals that help us to go out there to do some training. Not only that, we're exposed to a lot of training out there internationally that we have in the movement to help our credit unions. Increased financial education is one of the key problems. We are doing that. In fact, just quite recently, we have a plan with our Canada events to be able to drive financial education among credit union leaders. Strong relationship with regulators, very excellent. In fact, we have very mutual relationship. Collaboration is very, very high. So to conclude, LCUNA started fine in the 70s, in the 80s. After the war, we found it very difficult, but with the central bank coming into play, we were able to do a lot by bringing on board some of a large number of credit unions, but we were challenged at the time. These were natural challenges, pandemic that came in, but we stayed striving to move forward. So I want to say thanks to, again, Corporation Africa, and thanks for your audience. I want to stop here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the insightful presentation and sharing the Liberia Credit Union National Association with us. There are some questions in the chat, so I'll read them and then give you some time to respond. We have about 15 minutes for question and answers, and then we'll draw the curtain on today's session. So the first question is, what is the reason for the decline in membership of LCUNA looking at the data between 2017 and 2025? And then follow-up question to that is, what strategic approach is required to improve membership and interest? And then there's another question. You mentioned that many credit unions still use Excel. And I want to find out what is realistically stopping the transition from the Excel to using, some of the digital systems, some other credit unions are using. Is it a matter of cost, or is it a matter of skills, or is it a matter of people, or some of your credit unions just not being open to that change from Excel to more digital systems? So you can answer this set of questions, and then hopefully after that, if there are any other questions, I will ask them. So you have the floor to respond to the question.
Thank you very much for the two questions. And the first question is about the digital issue, to the Excel, why we use Excel. Is it because of capacity building? Is it because of finance? And the first question you asked is about the decline. Why the decline? So I will start with the last one. The last one, the reason for us using the digital system was that, one, yes, cost is involved. Two, we experienced during the time of World Council, we had one platform called a loan performance came into play, and we realized that at that point in time, credit unions, when there was some problems between with Woku, and they had to withdraw. That brought in a decline in the process. In fact, the credit union was not able to pay for the lesson fee, the annual lesson fee for the software. So that created a lot of problems. As I speak to you, those credit unions were closed down. There are 4 regional credit unions which provided a platform for more membership for LCUNA. They were closed down, and in fact, that credit union, those credit unions were trouble credit. They are still trouble credit unions in Liberia. So we are still working on that. But the main reason is finance. That's why we decided. And secondly, we decided that you have to reach certain level in terms of membership before you drive into digital transformation. Yes, you can start with the Excel, but at least there's some reasonable number of members, then we can drive in and help, and you can do it. But if you want to do it by yourself, you can go ahead. So that's why we are using that the Excel. And the Excel actually, to be frank, it helps us, but now it's a burden on the credit unions. We actually need to transform ourselves. We got to transform from manual to digital to digital. So the first question was about why it said there's a decline. As I told you, we had a lot of issues in the period with the Ebola and that of the coronavirus that was all over the world. One of the main reasons why the number of credit unions declined in Liberia was that most of the credit unions that we had, 155 credit unions, were supported by the central bank. So when central bank withdrew its support, these credit unions could not sustain their operations. Most of them were, in fact, because the central bank borrowed money to them and lend money to them, and they could not pay back. Most of them closed because of that. Some of them were not credit unions per se in terms of structure, but what we did was that we set standard at that point in time. Since you want to be credit union, yes, you have been certificated by central bank to be credit union, but let us develop standards that every credit union will have to meet. And central bank was in support of that. So when we developed that standard, it created a lot of problems for some of them. So the credit union at that point in time came down to 30 credit unions because they could not meet up with the standard from the central bank and LCUNA. So what we did was that instead of allowing them to go, we worked hard to have 5 of them, 10 of them coming together to form one credit union. But some of them wanted to be independent. They don't want to be with any other credit institution or credit unions. So that's how most of them left, and they went back to status quo to become clubs, financial clubs, or VSA, whatsoever, clubs, financial clubs. So that brought in the decline. In last year, we decided that instead of just going around these credit unions, which is very costly, why can't we start from the urban area and try to move into the rural area gradually? And that went on well. The employee-based credit union were responding to LCUNA, and we decided to, for the past 2-3 years, to work and provide sound governance training to the employee-based credit unions and few community-based credit unions. So that was the reasons why you see the decline. But as I said, most of the credit unions that were among the 25 credit unions are still structurally based and they are functional. But visibility of LCUNA has been a problem. So that's why we decided to hold on to where we are. And of course, this year we are rolling out to the rural areas to respond to their request.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I think there was another follow-up question to that, the one you just responded to, which was what strategic approach is required to improve membership and interest? So I'll add a number of questions to that, and then this would form the last set of questions. So the first would be what strategic approach is required to improve membership and interest? The second is okay, so why are the percentages not adding up to 100% for the 2025 breakdown? I think in your presentation on the membership from the 2017 to the 2025, I think the 2025 section, the breakdown of male and female membership doesn't add up. You have 62% for male and then 48% for female. So if you can comment on that. And then there's what are the plans to transform from manual to digital? So that is the third question. The last question I have is what are the opportunities for young people and women, and how well, or what are the strategies that you have in place to get young people involved in credit unions. I know that in some countries, some are starting with young people even when they are in school. They started saving clubs and other things. In Liberia, what are the opportunities, or what are the strategies that you have to bring young people on board when it comes to credit unions? So this would be the last set of questions you can respond to. Okay, thank you. Hello. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we first start with the inclusivity, the young people. We have planned to work along with the young people, and not only plan, but we have been working along with the young people. So this trip, what we have strategized to do is to visit schools, to create clubs, and work along with them. Of course, we have identified 3 government schools to work along with them in Montserrado County. So these schools, we have sent our team out there to meet with the principal and of course the student leadership, and they are waiting for us to go there for the awareness program, so which our team will be able to move in very soon. So we're going to start from there. Lastly, we have the Federation of Liberian Youth. We also working along with the Federation of Liberian Youth. We have to organize a program that we will develop policies as to how we can bring them on board. So that cannot be done in isolation. We have to work along with the leadership of the Federation of Liberian Youth and move forward. So that is what we have planned for the youth component. So in summary, we're going to work with the youth to create youth saving clubs. That is one area, and we're also going to invite them for intellectual discussion as well, at some of our occasions. Yeah. So the second, yes, for the data, it should be 38 instead of 48. So that's the error, typographical error. So what was the last question that you asked?
So the last question was, what are the plans to transform from manual to digital? So that's the last but one. The very last question was, or which was the first question was, what strategic approach is required to improve membership and interests?
Okay, so let's go to the plan for the transformation, digital transformation. We are working with our colleagues in the sub-region. As I said, we are working with NACU in Gambia. They have a software called NACU Soft. They have agreed by June, first week will be in country to build the University of Liberia credit union system up, and also the National Teachers Credit Union up. So those are the 2 credit unions that we have, and they have agreed to come. We had a discussion in Ghana quite recently, and the discussion was very impressive and rewarding. It was very mutual. We all agreed to work together. So NACU is going to come in. The second aspect of it is that we are going to work as a country to be, the credit unions have agreed that we, of course, we develop our own software. So as I said, the bidding process is on, and we are we are trying to go through that process. And in due course, of course, determination will be made as to who or when it will start. So what strategic plan do we have to improve membership growth? We have to improve our visibility. For the regional, the county called a urban level, there are a lot of impressions on the credit operations. The trust and confidence is high. But for the rural areas, yes, we have to move on visibility. People are calling on us to go. So we have decided to have at least 4 counties for this year to establish at least 5 credit unions there. And the credit discussions are already there. It's just a matter of bringing it together, making it understand that they can work together if they're waiting. And we will encourage them to do so. So that is what we have that we are planning to do. We're also going to, the existing credit union in Mosorado, we have agreed to host 2 times awareness programs and do membership education. That will help us to do membership education and financial education for the credit union members in each of the credit unions headquarters in Liberia. So that has been agreed upon with our HEA. So it's part of our calendar events. So those are the things that we have decided to do to work on this year.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are drawing the curtain on today's session. It has been very rewarding. It has been also very informative. Please remember that these meetings are being recorded, and we'll be sharing or uploading the video to our YouTube, and it will also be on our website. So, and I think for those of you who registered prior to joining the webinar, you would also get an email with a link to the recording. We are hoping to see all of you here for our next webinar, which would be in May. I'd like to thank Mr. Yarkpazuo for the time and also for just sharing Liberia Credit Union National Association with us. I'd also like to thank the interpreters, B and Laurent, for their time. I'd like to also thank Cooperation Africa Executive. Hello. I'd like to also thank the executives of Cooperation Africa, and I'd like to also thank Cooperation staff, Abena, and we hope to see all of you at the next presentation, at the next webinar. We'll be having a cooperative from Rwanda. So whenever you get the email notification, kindly share within your network and within your circles. And we hope to see all of you here in May for another informative session. Thank you once again to the speakers. Thank you once again to the interpreters. Thank you once again to CA exec members and staff. And thank you all. And please don't forget to join. We also have membership open. So if you're interested in joining Cooperation Africa, kindly go to our website, www.cooperationafrica.org, and check out our membership section. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay.
Thank you.